It's Wednesday, or actually, no, I'm screwed up already. It's Monday because y'all had me on Wednesdays every single night until last week where we started the whole Monday thing. It's Sweep the League. We're starting your work week off right. It's myself. It is the entire crew. When I say the entire crew, it is a smorgasbord of people tonight, and we still have one more special guest coming in. The entire crew of Sweep the League: Candace Avila Garcia, Derek Gervin, who was been with Team Gervin for a while, but he's back tonight. Rocky the Rock Garza, Shamaya Reed, Shamaya on the beats, and Mark, the stats man himself. Everybody, welcome. This is the first time we've had the entire buffet available for everybody. How's it going?
It's growing great with me. I'm glad to see meet the young lady, the new part of the new crew, and I'm glad you guys are moving forward, making progress.
Yeah, Derek, we added Candace because she's basically taking us up a notch, basically adding Candace on this show. We're just blessed, but just an FYI, I'm going to need you to cash in some of your stocks because she's charging us an arm and a leg to be a part of Sweep the League every single week, man. So we gotta make up some money somehow. We gotta have Rock ring the bell and bat his eyes like he did for the Salvation Army to raise that
or you gotta go do like I wrote you earlier, find those gift cards from Burger Boy, my man.
Oh my God, Burger Boy. Candace, have you had Burger Boy?
I freaking love Burger Boy. So I'm like old school Burger Boy person. I remember the Burger Boy that was on Bandera near Woodlawn.
Yeah,
like
where
I remember that. Yep, I remember that burger. I'm that Burger Boy girl. But yeah, orange freeze all the way, man.
Wow. Rock, are you good, Rock? You haven't said a word, and that's kind of weird. Not saying that you talk a lot, but you haven't said a word.
Yeah, I mean, you just saw me eating the pre-game over here. I'm just eating my dinner, so yeah, I'm good.
Oh my God. Well, we've got a lot to get into. We've got a special guest coming in. Rayne Fernandez is coming in. She was the winner of the Orbit's Next Up competition. She gets a one-on-one meet with DJ Khaled. She's going to be recording a music video overseas in Germany. Shamaya, can you just give us a little bit of a background on Rayne? You've had the pleasure of interviewing her a couple of times already. Let everybody know out there, simply Rayne, man. I mean, we got to get some background on her before she gets on the show here.
And make it rain. Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about Rayne, she used to be known as simply Rayne, and I'll keep it short and sweet. The cool thing about her is that I met her I'll say about 10 years ago, man, and what's wild is watching her grow. She is so humble, but she's been making moves for a long time, man. She's been doing great things in the industry for a while, and this is like a proud moment. Like if you're someone that kind of watched her grow in the music industry, and with her parents just always supporting her and backing her up, her sister always supporting and backing her up. Like, man, I talked to her on the show, I think it was 3 weeks ago, whatever. Like she was talking about how during like the COVID pandemic, she was just like, hey, I'm gonna stay active. So she got on TikTok doing a lot of stuff, and then she ended up going viral. I mean, she just has that very calm power punch. Like you just don't expect something to like go off like a firecracker, but she can do that. You know what I'm saying? But she's just very humble. She's like a very cool person, man. You're gonna feel the vibe. I'm telling you, her energy is contagious, man. Like when she talks, you listen. She has such a good voice. Like her speaking voice sounds great, not just her singing, but like she will make anybody with a frown start smiling. That's just the type of person she is.
Wow, man. I'm already sold on Rayne already. So I'm getting ready and getting hyped for the interview that we do have with Rayne, simply Rayne, like I said, winner of the Orbit's Next Up competition there. It's going to be exciting. We have probably a few minutes with her, but we'll definitely get some questions in there. See if we can maybe we can get Rock started on a singing career as well through Rayne and Shamaya. I don't know. I have a karaoke idea in mind that we all might have to do when we get together one night. I can't sing.
Let's go for it, man.
Derek, can you sing?
Let's go for it. You find out.
Oh hell! Here we go.
Oh, no.
All
I
right.
love karaoke personally, so I'm down for that.
I think I'm the only one that sucks at singing. So this is going to be terrible. Now I got myself into this bad situation. I'm going to try to get myself out of it somehow. Speaking about getting out of situations, we are going to talk about the subject at hand, Manti Te'o's documentary on Netflix. It's the Untold documentary. I can't remember what it's called, Candace. What is it? The girlfriend or doesn't have a girlfriend or something?
I don't know the official. I just been calling it Untold, the Manti Te'o story.
Okay, it's the catfish story, and we posed the question last week about have you ever been catfished? We're going to get into that after the Rayne interview, because that's going to be pretty much the gist of it. But there is one topic I want to get into before we get to simply Rayne. And I brought it up. We also have Sweep or Keep at the end of the night too, so we can't forget about that. I'm going to give you a preview. Tony Parker, is he a Hall of Famer? I saw that on one of you guys' posts, and he's smiling. So we're going to ask that question here in a second. Before we do, I Am Refocused Radio. Shemaya's got all great interviews on I Am Refocused Radio. He just had one recently with Kenny Anderson. And I mean, Kenny Anderson, point guard, one of the point guards of New York City, great basketball player. Mr. Chips is one of his documentaries. I really recommend that. Baller Boys podcast, Mark and Shemaya get you ready every single Tuesday night with basketball talk, sports talk in general. Baller Boys podcast, cannot forget every single Monday. That is right. Every Monday after Sweep the League, go to Facebook, check out the D. Gervin Big Mo show. Every single Monday night, 8 o'clock. That is with Derek Gervin and Paul McKeskey. They're always bringing the fire. Derek, you know that is fact right there. Fact right there. But we need a proven fact to get into this first topic here. Tony Parker, Hall of Famer. I have to. Why did you ask that, though? Because I think it's kind of hands down that he is a Hall of Famer based off of not just NBA play, but international play as well.
Well, I listen to people on these pages, and a lot of times I might not say anything, but then at some point down the line, I might bring it up. The reason I really brought it up is because next month they'll be inducting Manu will be going in.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the referees actually will be also getting inducted, Hugh Evans, and he'll be getting inducted by my brother, which is a great thing. Hugh has been kind of ill, but he reached out to my family, and they reached out to my brother, had his wife reach out to George. So that's exciting for me. But on the Tony side, I just wanted to bring it up because we got Manu going in September, and I just wanted to know what people think because, in San Antonio, a lot of people, Manu is one of the most popular players in San Antonio, if not the most popular. But where does Tony Parker rank? And that's why I brought it up. I just wanted people to tell me what they think because I think Tony is very underrated. And I just wanted to hear other people's opinion about it.
Tony for me has always been probably fifth or sixth. I have him fifth or sixth in the Spurs Mount Rushmore of players, and that's a debate you and I have had even on the radio. I mean, I've got Alvin Robertson on my Mount Rushmore, and that's probably still going to stay with me for a very long time. But we'll go around the horn. We'll start with Rocky first, and we'll hit up with Candace. Hall of Famer Tony Parker, Rock. I mean, is he a shoe-in for it? Because I've even heard the same. Well, speaking of that, don't answer that. We've got Rayne actually in the room right now. So let's get to this interview with Simply Rayne, guys. Here we go. So getting everybody here, and we're going to go straight to the interview. I didn't mean to cut you guys off, but.
Oh, it's okay.
Hi, Rayne. Are you there with us?
Okay, great.
Hey,
okay.
I appreciate you coming in. Thank you for joining us here on Sweep the League.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. We first and foremost, we want to congratulate you on winning the Orbit's Next Up competition. Such a great accomplishment. It's an amazing accomplishment. That's an honor for us to have you on, and we are just truly amazed, and we congratulate you from the bottom of our hearts, and we wish you the absolute best of luck from everybody here at Sweep the League.
Thank you so much. It means so much. Like I've gotten a lot of love lately, so it warms my heart, honestly.
Well, Shemaya is actually the guy that he turned us on to your music, and he's talked to us about your personality, everything like that. I mean, it just screams, stardom, no matter which way you look at it. But I just want to know. Everybody's dying to ask you questions here. We don't have you for a whole long here, but I simply just want to know one thing. When you got the call saying you won, what was that feeling like?
Oh man. Honestly, it was a day that I won't forget. I'll always remember it because I had a performance that same day that I found out the news. So mentally I was trying not to focus too much on who won or who didn't because I was trying to prep for a performance. I didn't want to get sidetracked.
Mhm.
But I noticed that my phone was blowing up like all afternoon. And I was kind of like, So I ignored it. And so did my performance, got off stage, and my dad and my sister come backstage and they're like, can we tell you the news now? I was like, you know what? Yeah, tell me. So they showed me the flyer that says I was the winner. And I literally, at first, I was like, oh, wow. And then it hit me and I started screaming and freaking out and jumping all over the place. And it was such an amazing moment because I had my backup dancers there, my best friend was there, so we were all just kind of celebrating. And yeah, I was shocked. And then I got on my phone, obviously, and checked everything. So
Awesome, man. I mean, the feeling that was going through, emotions and everything. I can just imagine the rush on it. I mean, like I said, the accomplishments you've had already before this. I've been following you for a little bit. I've heard some of your music. It's great music. I even told Shamaya we were going on the air one time before the radio show. I said, man, she's gonna be a star one day, and he just simply agreed with me. He's like, yeah, she is. She's gonna be. So it's already a star in the making. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna let the crew talk to you a little bit here. You've got a major fan in Derek Gervin. I want him to go first here.
okay, let's do
Major
it.
fan. So Derek, this is your moment to shine, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, first I say hi. This is probably the first time I wish I was a little younger in this era. So, I'm glad to meet you. Hey, I got a serious question for you though. I've heard a lot about you. I've talked to Rudy a lot about you. Shamaya and myself are from Michigan. So we're from, I'm from Detroit, Motown, original Motown.
Nice.
Who coming up? Who were your inspirations? What females were your inspirations when you were young?
Well, as a kid, I watched a lot of Disney Channel, so I loved the Cheetah Girls. Those were like, my inspirations as a child. But as I got older, I really loved, so many. I'm going to say my main two females that I love so much. Beyonce, obviously, and then Selena Quintanilla. I love them together because they're both Texas girls, and they're amazing, talented and beautiful and so classy. But my dad, he's the music guy. So he got me into Al Green, Stevie Wonder. We do Anita Baker, like everyone.
Oh, okay, there you go. That's the name.
Yeah, real good R&B music. He was a soldier, so he was over in he was in England for a little bit. So he even introduced us to a lot of different music from a whole different country. So he kind of influences us as well.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. And the influences are there. I mean, if you're into music, if you got a music career, everyone that Rayne basically mentioned, for me, I can't sing for anything. I can't sing at all. I tried singing one time. And
you could learn though. I promise you.
Can it be taught?
Yes.
Voice lessons, Rudy. Hello.
Yes. I'm going to spill a little tea. I literally did not know how to sing at all. Like when I was 10, 11, 12, had no idea. I didn't come out the womb singing like a lot of people. I took vocal lessons and that literally helped me get to where I am now. You got it. You could.
Oh man. Okay. Well, then I'm going to try it here because apparently we have a karaoke contest coming up for all of us. I'm going to let the karaoke aficionado ask the next question here. Candace, you're on with Rayne. What do you got for Rayne here?
Yeah, Rayne. So you're from San Antonio. I'm from San Antonio, San Antonio native, born and raised. There's so many young, little girls and little boys that just want to look to someone to look up to and be a role model for. What message do you have for them when it comes to, accomplishing their dreams and going for their dreams?
Sure. My main message is to be consistent and, give your all in whatever you're doing. Everything that I have been able to achieve did not happen overnight. Like I started this journey when I was 13. I'm 23 now. So nothing worth having comes easy. And there's a lot of moments where you may feel like discouraged or just not really sure about yourself. You have to have a strong group of people that really love you around you, whether it's friends, families, teachers. Surround yourself with love and know that you are special. You have a talent. And I promise if you stay consistent at something, it's going to happen. You'll see things happening. So that is my biggest piece of advice.
Great advice, Candace. Great question as well, because yeah, a lot of young kids out there, they're looking for that next role model too. I mean, yeah, parents are great role models, family members, friends, but they're also looking for the great role models that are up and coming as well. Simply Rayne, definitely one of them. This is Sweep the League Radio. We are joined by Simply Rayne Fernandez here with us, winner of the Orbits Next Up competition. I got to go to a couple more people. Rayne, I know you probably got to go because, like I was telling everybody here, I'm surrounded by stars, and I'm the one that never done anything in my life, maybe exception of, bowling wise, I've done it a little bit, but that's about it, which doesn't count for anything. But I got to get to Rocky Garza here. Rock, what do you got for Rayne here? Because I know you've also been another one that's dying to ask her a question too.
No, yeah, like we said, congratulations on winning the contest. It's a big accomplishment, I imagine. But I just want to know, like, what's your next goals that you're gonna have in life, and like, where do you see yourself in like possibly 5 years, and like, who do you compare yourself like music wise to, if you had to put anyone out there?
Man, hello. That's a big question right there. Well, I have a lot of goals that I really want to accomplish. This is a smaller one, but it's pretty big for me. I would love to learn to really speak Spanish fluently. I feel like I'd be able to connect with the larger audience because I am Latina as well. So that's a personal goal of mine. But I feel like career-wise, man, just to continue to get my music out there even more on more of an international level. I know I have what it takes to really expand out that far. So I hope that, God willing, I'm able to continue to just become more and more successful in that. And then, man, the other question, I'm sorry, I forgot the other question that you asked. Sorry.
Who do you compare your style to? I know you mentioned you looked up to the Cheetah Girls and Beyonce. I just want to know, like, who would you compare your music style to for listeners who don't
Sure.
know?
So I like to say that I'm an R&B and pop artist. I feel like as of the girls right now that are really popping, I love me some Doja. So a little bit of mix of that, Gaga, her. It's a mix of everything, but you know what? That stamp of Rayne and what my sound is, that's going to be coming next. I promise. That.
It's probably going to surprise her that I'm the and technically Derek's older than me, not by a lot. He's like a few years older, but I know nobody of the new age of music, and these guys give me crap all the time about it. I literally tell everybody I don't even know who The Weeknd was until exactly the same reaction everybody gave me.
My artist.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I'm sorry.
Who are your favorite artists then?
Well, I got one. Red Hot Chili Peppers is one. I'm more of a rock guy. Godsmack, all these guys. Yeah. But when Rock's in here, have you heard The Weeknd? I'm like I said, Saturday, Sunday. What are you talking about here? The weekend wise, I don't know.
Right. Right.
We are joined by Simply Rayne here on Sweep the League podcast. Stats. Mark is another guy that wanted to ask you a quick question here. If you do have to go, just let us know. I mean, we're not holding anybody hostage. We have nobody hostage here. Go ahead, Stats.
Cool. Hey, thanks, Rayne, for being on the show. Just a quick little question here regarding the competition itself. What would you say was the most important thing? And I'm sure there was a lot you got out of it, but what do you think was the most pivotal thing you got out of that experience, being in the competition and winning it?
Honestly, this was a big, for me, realizing that I need to go even harder. I feel like to be able to get to the position for DJ Khaled to look at my music, I had to work my butt off. I had to constantly post, constantly promote. And then also just being a good sport, because there was a few times where I dropped out of the top two before, they picked the finalist. I was kind of going back and forth with this one contestant. And so I had to remember, don't get frustrated, just push even harder, be a good sport about everything. Because for me, I always like to say, God don't like nasty. You know what I mean? He don't like that. So just being a good sport about it all and believing that what is going to happen is meant to happen and let the rest flow.
That is great advice. And, I'm like I've said before, you were Shemaya basically said, very positive attitude. And he said, you're going to feel the awesome vibe from her when she enters the room. He speaks really high of you. So we have no doubts about what he was saying. And again, we congratulate you on all the accomplishments before and that's going to come after. I mean, there's going to be a whole lot more. And we were talking real quick, Spurs, you follow the Spurs, you love the Spurs.
Yes.
It won't hurt anybody's feelings like Derek.
No, I love the Spurs. You know, me and the Spurs Coyote, we're tight.
Oh, there you go.
They invited me out a few times to sing the national anthem. I love the Spurs.
There you go. And that was mentioned, I believe, by either Rocky or Mark said that you had sing the national anthem at the Spurs game. So real quick, I want to ask you, because we were talking about it, is Tony Parker a Hall of Famer?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, that's fine. No worries. You don't have to know. I mean, it's okay if you do, if you don't.
You gotta ask more about Keldon Johnson and these guys.
Oh, okay. So
Lonnie Walker, the guys, the recent guys, the Patty Mills guys.
So Derek wants to know, is Keldon Johnson a Hall of Famer?
See, okay, here's my thing. I watch basketball, it's great, yay, but I don't go past watching it on the TV. It's ridiculous. It's funny. It's so funny because I've had a few basketball players slide in my DMs and I'd be like, oh, look, Dad, look who. And he's like, do you know who that is? I'm like, I don't know who that is, but it's like,
oh my God. Well,
hey, Rudy, let me say this to Rayne.
Sure.
I got married at 25, and I don't know if she know I played in the NBA. and part of the reason I got married, my wife didn't know much about basketball either. So you're on the right track.
There you go.
But if anything, Rayne, you've got our support 100%. I appreciate you for coming on. You have an open invite to come on whenever you want. Right before you've got a tour going on and you say, let me join the guys over at Sweep the League. Let me jump on there. You do whatever you want. But the most important thing is whatever you have coming out, be sure to let Shemaya or even let us know. We'll help you spread the word. We'll help you, get the word out for you. We'll promote you 100% of the time. That is no problem for us. But I thank you so much for coming on Sweep the League. And we'd love to have you on again.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been amazing. Thank you, guys. Everyone's been so nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
Good luck.
So that was Rayne Fernandez, Simply Rayne, winner of the Orbits Next Up competition, one-on-one meet with DJ Khaled. We got some great feedback from her. Great questions by the panel of Sweep the League. Thank you guys for asking your questions. She gave some really, really in-depth answers. Anything you guys would take from that? I didn't get to Shemaya because I know he's, like I said, he's talked to her before. But Shemaya, I do apologize. I didn't get you in there. I didn't want to keep her any longer than she had to be on. But any feedback you got from her? For me, first and foremost, the positivity was massive. Shemaya hit it right on the head. The positivity was there. Definitely a person that I would definitely like to interview again for sure.
Sure.
She has the potential to go even further than she's gone now. Just listening to her talk, a very intelligent 23-year-old lady, sounds very grounded. So I think her future is going to be very, very bright.
For sure, man. For sure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, to me it was interesting hearing her say, even with the competition going on, even with things getting a little bit dramatic, maybe things heating up behind the scenes, she still told herself and still told us that, you still got to be professional, keep a smile on your face, don't let it show, and just go out there and do your thing. And I think that was very helpful information and advice, especially because that applies to most workplaces, if not all of them. There's going to be things that pop up. There's going to be heated moments, but it's how you respond, not react, that defines how things are going to result for you.
It's kind of funny because I got the same vibe from her as I've always gotten from Shemaya. I'm being serious. I mean, Shemaya's been 100% upbeat, 100% positive. If I've had days on the radio where I just felt down or something was bothering me, he was always there to pick me up. So it's the exact same vibe, man. And I'm blessed to have Shemai as part of the group as well. But nonetheless, we gotta get the show back on because there's a lot of sweeper keep coming on. There's Manti Te'o because Candace is chomping at the bit to talk about Manti Te'o and Rock's catfish because I'm pretty sure it's happened to him already. I mean, I think he mentioned it last week that it's happened to him. But before we get into the Manti Te'o stuff, Rock, you were coming on Tony Parker. Is he a Hall of Famer?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's really hard for him to be not considered one, given his all of the accomplishments. But I feel like people fault him just because he's not. If you're talking top point guards of all time, most people are not including him. Even like this past generation, you're going to include the Chris Pauls of the road, Steve Nash, J Kidd, just any other person. But they always usually fault Tony Parker and they overlook him. I mean, yeah, he might not have been as talented as Chris Paul was, or say a Steve Nash, very talented guy, but he has the rings to back it up, and I just feel like he rightfully deserves a Hall of Fame induction.
Candace, Hall of Famer, yes or no?
Oh, for sure. I grew up with the big three, right? So Duncan, Manu, and Parker, and absolutely, like Rock said, he has the rings to back it up, and we think, my generation looks back at the championship teams and we're like, before Robinson or after Robinson, it's like, the big threes are the ones that really got us there. And so I'm definitely a Tony Parker Hall of Famer vote yes.
So we're all voting yes. Mark, are you voting yes?
Yes, absolutely. He's got the rings, as you guys mentioned, and he improved like every season. He got better. He worked hard. And it wasn't, I think people also fault him because of the system that he was part of. And you kind of get, it's the whole idea with like, Brady and the Belichick system. So they kind of discounted his performances just because he was in a very good system. But of course, we now know that everyone's mindset is different on that now. But I think TP just gets a little too much flack for being in a very good system. And don't get me wrong, that helped, but he was still a very good player and he has the rings to back it up.
Player, a lot of people, when they talk about the systems, a lot of times people give credit to the system, like Phil Jackson, the triangle offense and all that.
Mm-hmm.
The system is only as good as the players that you have.
True.
So the players come first. The players are what make the system, not the system make the players. Because you can have any kind of system, but if you don't have players that are willing to buy in, that system's going to fail. So that's why I get Tony so much credit. To have a team to run a team with Tim Duncan and Manu and all these guys. Pop was the coach on the bench, but Tony was the guy that kept it together on the floor. And for me, he's very underrated because a lot of people don't talk about, they talk the game, but they don't study the game.
Mm-hmm.
When you're 6'1" and you're leading the entire league in points in the paint, there's not much more I have to say about that. So I've been a scorer all my life. And when you're his size and you can lead the entire league in scoring in the paint, that's phenomenal.
True that. So he's a Hall of Famer no matter what. And everybody's in agreement that he's going to Hall of Fame for sure. The one guy that's not going to make the Hall of Fame is Manti Te'o. Is not a Hall of Famer. Unless you're going with the absolute craziest shit story you've ever seen in the sports world, then he's a first time Hall of Famer.
He's definitely a first ballot Catfish Hall of Famer.
Yeah, first ballot.
The Catfish Hall of Fame. Yeah.
So
I have
Catfish.
so many thoughts on this, y'all. Like so many thoughts. Like
So Catfish. I doubt even I'm an old fart and I know what catfish is. So for those that don't know by chance, catfish is when someone pretends to be somebody else on social media and it's really not them or whatever, however it works. It's basically a falsified profile. So the backstory on Manti Te'o was he got a friend request on, I think it was Facebook. Mm-hmm. Some guy was pretending to be a girl. They started to, I guess, fall for each other. Story moves on. She claims to pass away, all this and all that. So that's kind of the gist of it. And he got catfished. Came out that, it was a guy that was portraying to be a woman. And lo and behold, Manti Te'o now, you see people hugging the air and saying, I'm with my girlfriend. And it's, I'm Manti Te'oing this or something like that. But I want to talk to Candace about this and everybody else as well. All right, Candace, the whole Manti Te'o thing, catfishing. I need your thoughts. I saw the documentary and I got more facts that I didn't get before. So it was a great documentary on Netflix.
Yeah. So first of all, like we have to also look, like, let's go back to, what was this, 2000, oh God, 2009? Is this when this happened?
I think
right?
it was around there.
So 2009, and, you know, think about social media at the time, right? We didn't really understand or know about what catfish was.
Mhm.
So I think that's also where, you know, for Manti Te'o, he didn't know that there was this thing where you would fake a profile on social media just because it was so brand new to all of us. And then he's developing this relationship with this person who he thinks is a woman. And, you know, and you know, the documentary, there's a part where the sorry, I forgot his name. Is it Shinan or I forgot the girlfriend's name or whatever. And she is saying that you know, she had to go into character to become a woman. He, like, for the voice, like, she's interviewing Dr. Phil, and Dr. Phil's like, how did you get that? Because there's no way that Manti Te'o would have known that this was a man behind the phone. And you know, in he's like, no, he's like, I had to like go into like this deep state of like kind of like voice acting when you have to like be into character. And that's what this person was doing. And it's just so wild how intense, you know, it wasn't just like someone just like grabbing someone's photo on Facebook and, you know, making it seem like it's them and then texting them, whatever. This was like a whole like mental, like, just, I don't know. It was really intense. And again, we're going back to 2009 when this really catfish wasn't really a thing and it wasn't heard of. So it's like, you know, this poor guy, Manti Te'o, I just feel so bad for him because it like, and to go back now, you know, instead of like hating this person and, you know, wanting revenge on this person, he's like, no, like he wants to use his platform to help others, which is like insane. You know, it just shows you who the person he really is. And it just kind of like makes you even more angrier for this person who, you know, did this to him. That was like my biggest takeaways. And I was just like really upset. And I felt like I was like Mama Bear. I was like, poor Manti Te'o. Like, I just feel so bad for him.
It was a great documentary. I actually enjoyed it. And like I said, I knew about the story and I didn't really know much like facts into it. I just knew what the news was reporting, which, I mean, sometimes we don't get all the facts out of it. And it made me think, and I'm kind of glad Derek's in the chat today with us on the show, because, and it's not saying it's happened to anybody on the show. I know we joke around with Rock and everybody else that it might have happened, but from an NBA player standpoint, Derek, catfishing, I mean, let's not be real. I mean, you heard Simply Rayne even say, you know, people are DMing her, all this stuff. As an NBA player, as an athlete, you know, at the highest level, is that something that is concerning for players? Because you could get DMs from anybody and literally not know if that is that person.
Yeah, I think that would be a big problem because today you got a lot of weird stuff going on, and you know when you start talking about things like this, these are things that could tarnish someone's reputation. Even like when Te'o came out, I remember 2009 in Notre Dame, so I know what school he went to, so I know how big this was at the time. I think that's something that's crazy. People today, man, they try to do anything they can to tarnish a person's reputation. And then you know how sometimes people buy into it. And then it's just kind of like a first impression. And then sometimes it's hard. It takes years and years to get this impression out of people's eyes. But for me, this was sad because Te'o was a guy that was very popular at the time. And a lot of people kind of jumped on him on this story at the time. And some, of course, were positive on his side. And then you always got the negative people. But for me, it was a lesson learned, an eye-opener. You look at guys now, you look at the Kevin Durant's and the guys now, and you figure out why he does all his burner accounts. And you don't know when it's really KD or when it's not. And this is part of the reason why, the conversation we're having right now. So, yeah, it's a big deal.
Oh, I could imagine it being a big deal, man. You're right, Katie, with all the burner accounts. I'm wondering, does Rock have a lot of burner accounts? How many does he have?
I have about 7. You know, I have a burner account. I'm the guy that always heckles y'all saying, like, come on, man, I want more Rudy, or just making fun of you.
Oh, you're getting my hopes up higher.
Right.
Rock, I gotta ask, have you like ever been on like a Tinder date or Bumble date? I don't know what the new dating apps are nowadays, but I'm assuming it's those two that are still cool. But have you ever been on a date where you've at the end of the date you're just like, I'm not this, maybe this is like the wrong person, like have you ever said that you were not the person that you were, like, just to get out of the date? You know what I'm going with this?
Yeah. I've been on a date. It's been kind of weird. Like first day, you meet someone at a restaurant. It's cool. You're having casual conversation, but then like here she is, like she was cool. She's real cute, real nice girl, and I enjoyed it. But then she's just like, yeah. So like I don't know if it was jokingly or not, but she seemed very serious. She's like, yeah. So this is like how our life's gonna be, like planning it. And I was like, dude, I just met you. Wow. Like you're planning your life with me, and not to say she catfished me. I mean, I guess like you can say like not really catfish on Monte Taylor's, but like you see people on Instagram or social media, and then you see them in person, you're like, dude, you don't look like that. Like it's like the one example is at the gym. It's so easy to catfish at a gym. Guys and girls. It's all about angles, and like I see like guys and they're all flexing. It's good for them. They feel good, but then you see them at the gym, you're like, okay, you're like catfishing your followers, and like even like the same kind of girls. But I'm like, it's just a hard life because these girls want to fit this body image, or guys, and they're so pressured by society to fit it. They want to fit in, and so then when you see them in person, like they get roasted because you're getting catfished in a sense. So it's like, it's funny and all, but it's like it's kind of sucks at the same time. But yeah.
All right, so I want to go to Shemaya real quick before we go to Sweeper Keep. We're coming to the end of the show here. I want to get to Sweeper Keep. Shemaya, are you ready for this? I got to ask you a question. It's similar to Derek's question, because not only is it athletes, but music as well. Now, in the music world, I got to know, how are you really getting the DMs? And I'm going to use the word that the kids use these days. All you kids on the show and everyone listening, do the dancers, the girls, do they slide into the DMs of Shemaya on the beats? Because again, it's a world where, I mean, let's be real, it's a world where sex sells. I mean, that's a music world is just like that. And I want to know, is it the same thing that you might be going through, like some of these athletes?
Well, first of all, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. We got you good.
All right. Well, yeah, DMs are like fireworks, to be honest. I mean, especially like when you're producing music that's like hip hop, R&B.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. But yeah, the catfish is pretty strong. And it's not just in the sense of like people trying to reach out to you. It can just be strictly like people like, wink, wink, I want to do business with you. And then before you know it, it's like, hey, can you just send me all these beats and stuff? And it's like, okay, red flag. I'm not working with you because you're just trying to take my music. Like this happened in college. In college, I was making beats since like high school, but in college, I had someone from the UK. I'll never forget this. They were actually an artist. They had a YouTube channel. They were in the studio, all that stuff. So I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm about to work with someone in the UK. And I trusted that person. I sent them the beats that they were asking to, take to the studio. And boom, they just dipped out, like just vanished from the earth. I'm like, see, it's just one of those situations you just got to know what you're doing and be careful, who you talk to, because you just don't know what tricks they have up their sleeve.
That's true. So it's a problem, whether it be the sports world, music world, anywhere. I mean, I can say I don't think I've ever been catfished. I've the worst thing I've ever done. See, again, like Candace, Rock. I mean, all you young guys in there, y'all got Tinder, y'all had this. Well, for me, the equivalent of that was America Online chat room. That was when it first started. I had to use the dial up and pray to God that my modem held up and that no one was calling me on the phone line so I can get on the internet in the chat rooms. That was the thing for me. So that's just kind of showed my age right there. And that's pretty terrible, but not as terrible as the sadness that is we are coming to the end of the show. So that means Sweeper Keep time. Before we get into Sweeper Keep, I am Refocused Radio, Baller Boys Podcast. And the one that's coming up here on Facebook in just a little bit with our man, Derek Gervin, D Gervin Big Mo Show. All great podcasts. Check them out. It's sweep or keep time. I hope there's no catfish sweep or keep because that's going to get pretty embarrassing. So, Stats, what do you got, man?
There isn't any catfishing in this edition of Sweep or Keep, but there is picking up ladies involved in this one. So,
Oh God, Rock's already going to win this one.
oh yeah, I think you're gonna like this one. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Sweep or Keep. You're either gonna sweep it, which means you like the head, or you don't like the headline, you don't like the tweet, you don't like the opinion, or you're gonna keep it, which means you'll love it. You're gonna put it on your mantle over your fireplace. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started and play along. All of y'all listening to Sweep the League right now, play along with us and drop it on social media. Let us know if you're sweeping or keeping. So here we go. We are going to hit home with a few local Detroit guys right here. Detroit Lions represent in the first Sweep or Keep. All right, here's a quote from head coach Dan Campbell of the Detroit Lions. Here's what he says: "If you're an opponent, the dumber you think I am, the better off we are." That is head coach of the Lions, Dan Campbell. Are you going to sweep this?
That mother. Come on, man.
So
who the hell will keep that, man?
So he's saying sweep that mother effer, and Shmag doesn't cuss, so I won't cuss for him. But what was the quote again? Did I really hear you right? What the hell was the quote?
This is the Chicken Man, the Chicken Shack head coach of the Detroit Lions. If you're an opponent, the dumber you think I am, the better off we are.
I'm gonna sweep it because that is the most ludicrous shit I've ever heard. I still can't get it.
Well, it's just like the season. No one gets it. It's like like there's nothing to get there.
Well, considering there's only 2 Detroit Lion fans in the world, we got both of them on our show. Let's go, Derek. Derek, are you sweeping or keeping that?
Man, you talking down? I'm sweeping Dan Campbell, period. right under the rug. I started sweeping the day he was hired. So when you start, he's talking nonsense. What he's really saying is that he's a genius in football, and his results are saying different. So
league football,
no doubt about it. Everybody in Michigan is sweeping it.
Wow.
There's my answer: sweep.
Candace, I'm gonna go to you.
I say sweep. It's pretty arrogant of him, you know? It's like if you have to have the stats to back that up. You know, that's like a confident man saying, and it's like he's very confident, but again, there were stats.
Exactly.
He said it too early, prematurely. If you win, Ricky, Rudy, then you can say those things. You can't start. You can't be losing. I'm a Detroiter. Come on, man. We won one playoff game since 1957, and I don't see it changing anytime soon. So that's like a ludicrous statement to make. Win first and then talk afterwards.
So is it as ludicrous as to say is the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl? Because I hear that every single year.
I think this is even worse.
Cowboys have a fair shot compared to Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Dan is tripping.
Well, the Falcons don't have any shot at all. Rocky, are you sweeping or keeping that?
I'm sweeping it, but that just sounds like something Jerry Jones would say. Like he thinks Jerry thinks he's like the most genius guy on earth, and he does everything. And like everything he says, like it's just all just showbiz and clickbaits, and people write about it. Like I just hate Jerry's quote. Jerry just like blabbers on, and it just annoys the hell out of me.
And you know,
Rock,
go ahead,
let me say this quickly, Rocky. But you know the reason Jerry can say that though is because they won rings. They won 3 rings. To hear Dan Campbell say that with the Detroit, they haven't won in Detroit. So you know sometimes people will give Jerry a pass, but to hear Dan Campbell say that and he's never done anything. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you need results to be able to say that. And everyone and their mother knows that the Detroit Lions are not good or legit.
All right, better record this year. I'm going to just real quick, give me 1 second of y'all's time. Better record, Lions or the Falcons?
Falcons.
Falcons.
Come on,
I'm going to disagree.
Don't
this
do
year.
it.
I see the Falcons winning like 5. I think the Lions can win about 6 or 7 games this year. So I'm gonna
You
go
sound
Lions.
like the head coach, man.
Oh God!
Somebody,
right.
I got to give us 6 and 11, my man. Come on.
No, you're right. No, you're right. I'm just hating, man. I'm just hating.
All I'm gonna say with Cowboys, watch turn up. He's gonna be one of those guys too. Watch out for.
I agree with Candace on that. He's probably one of the few, positive things on the Cowboys right now, because I don't see positive anywhere on that Cowboy squad. All right, Stats, what's the next one?
All right. So we were talking about catfishing earlier. This isn't catfishing, but does have to do with picking up ladies. So here we go.
Jesus.
Straight from Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett says Ben Roethlisberger called him and told him if he needs any help with picking up women in Pittsburgh, that he will welcome his call. Gentlemen and Candace, sweep or keep?
I'm gonna let you guys go first, because this is a subject I don't really know.
Do you actually think
about.
Ben can do this? Do you think you would actually help him?
Ben Roethlisberger is an ugly MFer, in my
Is
opinion.
the guy's goal to get ready to be on the police blotter or what?
Well, yeah, there's that too with Ben Roethlisberger.
For me, I'm sweeping it. I don't want Ben's advice or help when it comes to women at all. No, I'm sweeping it.
I agree with that. Who's the next? Whoever wants to go next, go, because I got to get my thoughts clear on this one before I can even say anything.
Sweep.
He's sweeping that.
Sweep that thing, man.
Rock?
Why would he say that? That is, oh my God, pocket, man. Why would he say that, dude? Like, does he think that's okay to say with his police record? I'm sweeping that. I don't know. That's just the most out of pocket comment I ever heard today. Oh my God.
Candace?
Yeah, I'm sweeping that too. I'm just like, that. Is that like his Twitter bio line? Like, is that what he has?
It probably is. Oh shit! If you need help picking up a woman, call me. That would be. I'm looking. Okay, so I had to do
the guy who looks like a cheeseburger.
Exactly. There's nothing good looking about Ben.
Wait. He says, "Call me." Wink, wink.
Call me. Wink, wink. I'm looking at a picture of Kenny Pickett, and I'm saying, okay, I think he has no problem getting a girl, just by his looks right now. But not only that, you're Kenny F. and Pickett. You're a first-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the most successful teams in the NFL history. I think he's going to do pretty well, but I'm sweeping it because I would, even if I was desperate in time, I would not use Ben Roethlisberger for anything, like at all. There's nothing I wouldn't even ask him to show me how to play quarterback. I mean, I think he was just surrounded by better weapons that made him look better. I don't give Ben Roethlisberger any credit for being quarterback. And I bet you $100 nobody can spell Roethlisberger right now on the spot.
ROETHLISBERGER.
Boom.
I could spell it. It's SWEEP.
Sweet. What's the next one? And damn it, Derek, I owe you $100 probably. I didn't even check it.
Nah, man, I'll take Burger Boy, a meal at Burger Boy. We even.
That is so much better. All right, what's the next one?
All right, we're going to the NBA territory right now. So this is a quote from your favorite, Kendrick Perkins. So Kendrick Perkins is complimenting this player. He says that Giannis Antetokounmpo is the most dominant player in the game. Sweep or keep?
I'm going to keep it. I have no doubts in my mind. I'm going to keep that. Right now, Giannis Antetokounmpo is definitely the most dominant player in the league for me right now. Any of you LeBron lovers out there want to debate with me, I will gladly debate with you. I'm not a LeBron fan at all, as I've made it very clear, but as of right now, Giannis Antetokounmpo is the player in the NBA 100% for me.
Wow. I don't know. Can I just do SW? Because for me, it's two guys. It's but one of them, it's another guy on his level, but he has injuries occasionally. I'm gonna keep it though, but I say that Joel Embiid is right there as well. But I do think that Giannis was the most dominant right there. I'm gonna say it's the two of them, but I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it.
I'm going to keep it too. I mean, Giannis you've seen his rise to stardom, and he's not even done yet. That's a scary thing, man. I mean, he's getting a shot and getting more consistently. And really right there, and he puts in that work. And I love his story, man. I mean, you have this guy, you see the documentary, just super skinny guy, and just how much muscle and how humble he is and how hungry he is. It's so great to see him rise and finally get his chip. But he's only scratching the surface of what he's going to become, and that's the scariest part about it, man. I mean, once like he gets that, like there's gonna be no way to stop him at all.
Exactly. Shemaya?
Well, I know Kevin Durant is mad, but yeah, I'm keeping this because yeah, all y'all's points are valid. And yeah, if you look at right now, yeah, that's the guy.
Heck yeah.
Hey, Rudy, that's the only one guy for me. You know, one of my favorite players of all time that I would even put in the conversation with Giannis, and that's Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
When you talk about overall impact on your team as a big man.
Hell yeah. I agree with that 100%. Tim Duncan, I mean, he doesn't get the credit that he deserves. I mean, we've
Well,
talked
they
about
were two
that.
very humble guys that were loyal to their franchises, and they didn't have to be. So I'm factoring that in as well.
Exactly. All right, Candace, sweeper keep on Giannis.
Oh, keep. I mean, like Rock said, he's so young. He's only 27. Totally has his whole career ahead of him. You know, I'm excited to see what's in the future for him.
I've got someone street racing behind me. That is crazy here. I'm like,
Hey, Rude, I got to get ready to leave you guys, my man. I got to get ready for my show.
For sure, Derek. Thanks for joining us, man. If you want to jump off,
man, I'll talk to you guys again hopefully next week. And I want to thank you for having me on the show today. And Candace, it's a pleasure meeting you.
You too.
We'll talk again soon.
For sure.
All right, everybody, all you guys have a great day. Rock, Stats, I'll talk to you guys again, my man. You already know me. I love you guys. We'll talk soon.
Heck yeah. Take care, Derek.
Yes, sir.
Sweet.
Peace out, man.
So we had sweeper keep. Is that the last sweeper keep you had for us, Stats?
That is the last one.
All right. So again, we had sweeper keep. Giannis is the man. We really don't care for Ben Roethlisberger. And we found out also that Rock has never been catfished, which is a surprise to me. Rock not being catfished. That's pretty crazy.
But you haven't catfished anyone, Rock, right? Like you haven't done the catfishing.
It's kind of funny. Like, you know, I don't really like taking pictures and like, it just feels so weird. I don't know if it's like for you, Rudy, or like any of the guys where even I want to get your feedback, Candace. Taking a picture as a lady, do you feel like there's certain poses compared to a guy? Like it's easier for a girl to take a photo than a guy? Because with the guy, you're just like, what do you do with your hands? You know, you put it in your pocket, or you're just like, you know, do the peace sign or
No, West Side.
All right, I know we got to go. We got short time here, but let's be real here. If you could catfish one person, who would it be? Celebrity, whoever. Who would it be? We got to end this on a great note here.
Rudy, do you have someone? Do you have someone in mind, Rudy? Because I don't.
Whoa! Why would you make? I don't need to catfish anybody. I'm the ravishing one, man. I'll talk to whoever. No, if I had to catfish somebody, oh golly. Now, what are we talking catfish? Like I just pretend to be somebody else and make them fall in love with me? Is that what it is, or just playing a game? How are we doing this?
Whatever you want.
Is it Ben Roethlisberger, Rudy?
Wow. Wow, man. Wow. I really don't have anybody in mind, honestly. At this point, I really don't. I don't know.
Especially after that statement.
After that statement, I don't know. I'm second guessing now. Roethlisberger, I might want to do that just to F with him for sure. You got anybody?
I'm catfishing Oprah.
Oprah? What the hell?
Send me some money from Africa.
Oprah will give me that money, you know. I could, you know, be potentially someone she likes, and so they get that money and this, yeah. But I mean,
but isn't that a crime?
Isn't that fraud?
Yeah, that's fraud. Because you're taking money.
Is it the Nigerian prince scam that was going around years ago?
Oh my God. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. We'll pick this up next week. The first thing we're going to ask is, who would you catfish? What celebrity would you like to catfish? We'll think about that if we get back to you on a week here. So if you guys out there have a celebrity you want to catfish, hit us up. Let us know. We've shared all of our Twitter handles out there. We'll share them again on Twitter. Let us know who you would like to catfish. And you know what? Maybe we'll help you catfish that person. We'll give you their social medias or whatever. Everybody's accessible. Candace is giving me the look like, oh, hell no, don't do that. We're just messing with you. We won't help you. Well, we don't know. We don't know what we'll do. We're crazy here at Sweet the League. So for Candace, for Rock, for Shemaya, for Mark, For Derek Gervin, who had to bounce because he has his show on Facebook, the D Gervin Big Mo show coming up at 8:00. Rudy Campos Jr., thank you again to Simply Rayne Fernandez, for coming on with us, giving us an interview. Congratulations to her. Until we meet again next Monday and until we sweep the leagues over again, we'll see y'all then.
Oh, yeah.